Well, Deb Murphy was on scene and filed this story for Sierra Wave Media. Inyo County residents celebrated their new animal shelter, aptly renamed the Inyo County Adoption Center, Saturday on a hilltop east of Big Pine, overlooking the former shelter, the old County Farms Dairy Barn. Now, the contrast between the old and the new is stark. The cats have larger cages and access to their own playroom. The dogs are housed in big cages with access to the outdoors and can romp in their own grassy playground. The facility has a get acquainted room, a real office, climate control and ventilation, and an exam room. Heaven compared to the cramped quarters the Inyo County Sheriff's Department Animal Services operation moved out of a few weeks ago. Now, the grand opening included all of the traditional trappings, food, tours, speakers. Inyo County Sheriff Bill Lutz, as well as eye care head Ted Shady, Inyo County Supervisors Matt Kingsley and Mark Tillemans, and Animal Services Supervisor Julie Richardson all gave credit for the facility to a community that first reduced the shelter's kill rate and increased the adoption rate, then concentrated on building a good home for abandoned animals. Ted Shady, who along with his wife Lisa started eye care after a visit to the old shelter. Initially, the organization's fundraising efforts concentrated on an effective spay-neuter program. Then 2 years ago, the new facility was proposed to the Inyo County Board of Supervisors and built with a combination of donations and county funds.
You know, this has been a long time coming, and I know that Ted and Lisa are probably going to say a few words, but this is a wonderful day in Inyo County. I don't know if any of you toured the old animal shelter. I'm sure most of you have been in it at one time or another. It's really something to walk in there and then 5 minutes later walk into this one and see what the difference is. It's just wonderful, and you know, if it wasn't for the citizens of the county, this would probably not be possible. So please give yourself a round of applause.
When we got started in the late 90s, Inyo County had to euthanize 1,800 animals a year because there were so many animals that came in here and so few were adopted. That was completely unacceptable. So that's how eye care started. We got started to reduce the number of pets born, to increase the number of pets adopted, and when you bring those two things together, you have success. And after 19 years, we've reduced the number of animals that have to be euthanized every year from 1,800 to last year it was 45. And those animals, no adoptable animals really anymore have to be euthanized. The animals that did have to be euthanized were generally health issues, things like that. So this community, in less than 20 years, completely turned around its approach to homeless animals. And it's culminated today by, I call this the shelter that you all built. You know, this was not, we didn't get a government grant. Very little tax money was used. This, $600,000 of the $800,000 we took to build this shelter were donated directly by the public, either Inyo County or to eye care. So this, we all built this shelter, and we now have something we can be proud of, really for 3 reasons. In order to have a successful adoption center, and I like to call this a pet adoption center rather than an animal shelter.
The annual Eye Care Dinner held in 2013 started the fundraising effort. The following year, the Lions and Rotary clubs threw a hugely successful spaghetti dinner. When all the eating was done, Eye Care had raised more than half of the $800,000 needed for the facility. The balance of the building costs came from the county and the Sheriff's Department, and also $150,000 from an anonymous donor. Now, the beneficiaries of the community's generosity come in all shapes and sizes and breeds, gifted with pleasant living quarters until their adoption.
We're really excited because we have a cat get acquainted area. We also have a dog get acquainted area. The cats get to play all day. We kind of rotate them through the room so they get exercise, as in the old shelter they were kind of in a 2x2 cage for the entire day, so it's lucky they get to be getting out. The dogs, it's so much nicer because we've got the guillotine set up to where we can let them get fresh air all day long. They can come in and out. If the weather is bad, we can close the guillotines. The climate is just so much better. It's so much cooler for the animals. The ventilation is so much better. It helps with prevention of disease, and the animals are just a lot more comfortable. We also, in the dog get acquainted area, we really enjoy because volunteers can come in. They don't want to be in the heat. They can play with the dogs in the room, and it's a good place for people to get acquainted with the animal that they may adopt. We also have a really nice examination room, which is very nice. We have a nice big huge stainless steel bathtub so they can get bathed, and a better place to examine them, and it's just all around. We actually have an office, which is great, and computers, and it's just been wonderful moving in.
All right, thanks for that, Julie. And we thank Deb Murphy for the story, and we thank Ted and Lisa Shady for all of their great work for our companion animals. Very nicely done. Well, the Bishop Volunteer Fire Department's Destruction Derby for this year is in jeopardy. Now, as of last Friday, there were not enough entries to have a Destruction Derby this year. So the Bishop Volunteer Fire Department and the Tri-County Fair are pulling together and asking the fans to help save the event, said Fair CEO Sally Simons, who also said, quote, "For some reason, entries are down and several regular drivers lost sponsorship this year. We know this is a crowd favorite and are asking the communities of the Eastern Sierra to help out. Consider entering a car or even helping to sponsor one," end quote. A press release notes that besides being the highlight of the fair for many, the Destruction Derby is a huge fundraiser for the Bishop Volunteer Fire Department as well as the Tri-County Fair. In 2014, the fire department's portion of the proceeds was $34,000 and the fair received $30,000. Now, those interested in entering the Derby or getting in touch with a driver to help sponsor a car, please contact the Bishop Volunteer Fire Department at 760-873-5485. What would the fair be without the Destruction Derby? And Deb Murphy filed a story writing both sides of the Bobcat Protection Act issue admitted the legislation was emotional, calling the discussion a, quote, "debate between the old and new Inyo County," end quote. Mountain guide S.P. Parker asked the Inyo County Board of Supervisors at its meeting last Tuesday, "Which county do you want to be? Trapping was okay in the past, but those days are gone," end quote. Now, the Inyo board chose not to make that choice, citing lack of science on the impact of a commercial trapping ban. The supervisors took no action after a lengthy comment period. Now, unfortunately for the bobcat, there is eager market for their pelts in China and Russia, escalating the price. The 150 trapped county bobcats represent 10% of the total in California. AB 1213 only impacts commercial trappers. Hunters are limited to 5 bobcats. Please, we urge you to see much more on this story by Deb Murphy on our website, sierrawave.net. And a Gimmie Shelter Carnival was held in Mammoth Lakes over the weekend, supporting wild iris, with another one set for this weekend in Bishop. Sierra Wave Media's Rob Gill spoke with organizer Donna Richards.
Oh yeah, this is all being taken down. We had a great time, aside from the weather, which was really cold. The turnout was great. I want to say thank you to everyone that supported this cause. This is for Wild Iris, once again, transitional housing program. And the money raised last year provided them to get a grant. So that program is on track, and I'm really excited about that. And also, Gimmie Shelter Fund did a wine walk in the village, which was the Gimmie Shelter Summer Solstice Wine Walk, and that raised money also for transitional housing. So the 2 events in Mammoth goes to Wild Iris. Gimmie Shelter Fund is created for money to be raised for Inyo and Mono County. What I do is, the original way it started was Wild Iris, Susie Baines, program director, and I got together, and she told me they didn't have a shelter for domestic violence in Inyo and Mono County. So about 3 years ago, I decided to bring a carnival to town so I could raise money to start their transitional housing program. The carnival has a Ferris wheel, has a zipper, has a tilt-a-whirl, has all the kiddie rides, concession stands, you know, just it's a full-on carnival. Gimmie Shelter Carnival, what is next is that we're going down to Bishop And money raised there will be for the Paiute tribe. The carnival is going to be on the back of the casino parking lot where they have that piece of property. And the money raised there will go to the scholarships for higher education. Free is admission, that's always good. The carnival dates in Bishop will be the 16th, which is Thursday. It will be open Thursday through Sunday, closed Monday, Tuesday, and then it will reopen and be open till the 26th. You got to come down. This is the first time the Paiute tribe has had anything like this on the reservation. They're really, really excited. I can't wait to get down there. I'm on my way now after we do this. Yeah, come out and support. You know, this is a great cause for raising money for the scholarships for higher education for the kids.
All right, well, a fun fundraiser indeed. Thanks. We'll be back in a moment.